Hello, and here is your Tuesday morning. We are looking at digital detox. Hands up, I need one. We are so disconnected, but haven't been more connected in like that kind of technological sense. And there's more. When COVID was happening, there were people saying there's going to be a mental health pandemic post this, which there is. I don't think they've actually titled it pandemic because the government aren't doing much about it, but I'm not going to get political. But also a kind of spiritual awakening as well. Like people are just going to go, I'm not doing this anymore. And you're seeing more and more people, especially youngsters, who just disengaging with news, with politics, because it's making them quite unwell. So what we're going to look at is that overstimulation, how it's affecting the brain, how it's affecting our body, that link between screen time and cortisol, recognizing that digital addiction that I think anyone that has one of these has an element of, and then have some practical strategies. So just really bring in some awareness to phone usage, laptop, anything. So we've never been more distracted and anxious as a society, and more fatigued also. And there's constantly ways in which we are being told, like that's the irony, like through these things, and I run my business, on one of these as well. We are being told like, oh, you're feeling tired, you need to be doing this. Oh, you're feeling anxious, you need to be doing this. Oh, if you lost your attention, you need to be doing this. So yeah, that it's like the problem is often the solutions. So how many of you, just something to think about, how many of you like look at your phone within the first 10 minutes of waking up? And do you feel digitally drained by the end of the day? I've had some days where, so I will always send a gratitude list at the end of the day. And there's days where it's like, actually, I'm going to handwrite it and take a photo of it and then send it because I just can't stand to look at the screen anymore. I'm studying, doing assignments on this laptop. I'm doing work on this laptop for Mind. I'm doing my own business, website. Everything is screen. So I definitely tick the box of feeling drained at the end of the day. I'm getting better with not looking at my phone within the first 10 minutes. But again, a lot of us have our alarms. So cortisol is the body's main stress hormone. And this is released during fight or flight. And it's also connected to screen use. So we get kind of, especially social media and news, so we get micro doses of stress. So we get in notifications can spike our cortisol. And even if it's a nice, like, got a message from, that kind of, it's also like dopamine, that hit. Doom scrolling activates our threat response, and lack of rest, because people are doing this for rest, like, oh, just got home, I'm going to check my phone. That's not active rest. And your cortisol staying elevated because you're stimulating. So our brains treat negative news like constant alerts, like threats in the wild. I don't follow news. I'm not subscribed to any. I don't do Facebook often, but I do events. I put events on there. And when I hop on to check, there's always something about like man found dead in Richmond Park. and they specifically target local news. So you like, because I'm doing events in around Christchurch, I'll get, girl 15 missing. Oh my gosh, is she like at my daughter's school? And like I said, I don't follow, but the algorithm, I'm being targeted. And in 2021, there was a study that said that people that spend more than 6 hours a day on their phone have significantly higher levels of cortisol than those that don't. They also have poor sleep and poor mood. So, and the research is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it also hijacks our attention. So it just steals our focus. I'm just going to take a glug of coffee. And I have been up for more than 90 minutes. I always bang on about that. Don't have any caffeine in the first 90 minutes. But this so there's a phenomenon now called the TikTok brain. And so all the reels are specifically so many seconds. If you see, especially someone younger scrolling TikTok, it's like, oh my God. And to the point where they even speed up voices. And if you note it, like if they friends that are sending each other's voice notes, they can hold the screen and it goes. How can you tell what they're even saying? Like that impact that is having on their brain, God only knows. But that triggering, swiping, scrolling, as I was saying, that example, like girl gone missing, you click, you're then on a website that is full of adverts. You're looking for the news that's just linked you to that, but then it's like, oh, that's happening, and you're in the rabbit hole. It's multitasking fatigue. And then it'll suddenly drop into your head like, oh yeah, I need to book that table or I need to do that. So we're not doing any deep work or creative thinking. We are just constantly distracted or can be. So the average human attention span has decreased from 12 seconds in the year 2000, to 8.25 seconds. That was a study in 2015. So it was, if it was on that trajectory from 12 to 8, and we are now another 10 years on, we're probably at 6, 5. I'm rubbish at maths. And like all the content stuff, for business of like creating reels, I've noticed just like in the last 2 years, it's like make it this long. People aren't looking, people are skipping by. You've got to be really quick. Make the reels quicker so they'll watch it again. So you've got more engagement so that it's affecting your algorithm. It is bonkers. But 8.25 seconds, that's shorter than a goldfish. Okay, we're being brain fried. So it's addiction by design, essentially. So social media, gaming use behavioral psychology. They have got a team of behavioral psychologists. I used to work in gambling. Like gambling problem now is horrendous. But it's more online. We're moving away from the bookies. People going in. That still happens, but gambling addiction is more online. Now, the creators of these games, they've got teams of behavioural psychologists. How they sleep at night, I do not know. It makes me so angry. I could actually cry if I think about it too much. But there's variable rewards. So things like click here. Even things like, if you've got the Lidl Plus app, even there you pop in scratch cards, if you reveal, have I won anything? Fear of missing out. So we've got that FOMO. What is it? I need to know about this. And then we've got this validation loops, the likes, the comments, the insights. I found myself falling into this massively. Why did that reel get 600 views? Why did that one only get 200? And why did that one down there get like 4,000? It's not. It's fear-based. It's fear. It taps into my fear. I need more clients. I need more business. I need more engagement. So I'm there with it. And even with all this knowledge, it can still hook me in and drag me up. So it taps into our it's our dopamine pathways. It's a really scientific word, which is like dopaminergic or something, but I can't pronounce it properly. So this reinforces our compulsive use. In research, like the rewards that rats, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's like a cocaine behavioral study, and the rats would tap and they would tap again. It's the same pathway. So, it's not personal failure. This is designed, this system is built to be addictive. I'm way more passionate about this than I thought I was. So yeah, it's Skinner. Skinner was the person that did loads of research into rewards and psychology, and it's a conditioning theory. And the randomized rewards were the most addictive type. You don't know when it's going to come, so you just keep engaged, you keep hooked in. So how can we break free from this? Because we're being controlled by what we're seeing. We're popping on, and it it affects our buying patterns. You only have to walk onto any high street now. There's no shops; they're all closing. Everyone's at home, like buying everything online. And my girls, I said, oh, we'll go to Castle Point after school today because they're after a couple of items of clothing for a family event. And I was like, oh, I just want to get it online. They're I'm like, oh my gosh, it's yeah, I can't be bothered. It's too much hassle. Um, yeah, so society's changing massively. So phone free, like mornings, I would just say for 30 minutes. And I get it. I've done it myself this morning, and it's really bad. But I like to say that awareness isn't enough sometimes, but bringing that consciousness to it, you can go, oh, and I've been here before, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do really boundaries. I'm going to reduce my screen time, and I do it, and then we forget, and it creeps back in, and we have to go back and do it again. It's not a failure. As I said, these systems are built to keep us hooked in and addicted. This morning, like, I always go outside, just kind of connecting with myself, universe, just like start the day right. Step outside, whatever the weather, take 5 deep breaths, popped it on my story on Instagram. My alarm clock went off. I'd got notifications. Had an email from somebody that had made an inquiry. And in there. So I do get how hard it is. So phone free for the first 30 minutes. Get an old alarm clock so you know what time it is. Like the sale of clocks. Like no one's having clocks in their homes anymore, so we just check our phone the time. Turn off non-essential notifications. So really go into your settings where it says notifications. Just have a look. Whenever we do an update, it will restore to on. So the stuff you might be getting notifications for that really aren't important, go in and turn those off and keep devices out of the bedroom. This is something that I have managed to stick to. So it's on charge on the landing. And it's good because the alarm, I do actually go out, but I'm going to get an old alarm. So structured detox times. I used to have like, I think it was a Tuesday. I'm not going on social media on a Tuesday. I need to redo that. So it's a day a week where we're off screens. App blockers, there's And again, the cooked in. It's like when you look at these, oh, are you addicted to cortisol? Have you got ADHD? There's an app for that. It's like, yeah, and where's the app? The app's on your bloody phone. But there are app blockers called Freedom Forest and One Set. Um, but mind body things, so really looking at lowering your cortisol, so things like breath work, walking, cold exposure, um, yeah, all of these things, cold water, um, things that can just reset, meditation, obviously, um, and replace screen time with attention building activities. So it might be reading a page of a book. I find myself like it's almost feels like a bit of a reward. Like, oh, I just want to check my phone. I want to chill out. And then like 20, 30 minutes. I know I'm forever saying I haven't got time. Like I need more time. I need to be getting up earlier. And yet it's still like expands, like it's filling too much time. So things like journaling, puzzles, reading, time in nature, walks, Sudoku, whatever it is, but things that are like going to build that attention. So just think about a habit that you're willing to change this week to reduce that digital overload. Mine's going to be not looking at my phone. I'm actually going to go and buy an old-fashioned alarm clock. And I know that I've said my excuse for this before. It's like when the girls aren't here. That I'm always like, oh, I wonder if they've messaged me. But doing that essential notifications so that the notifications that I get will only be messages, so WhatsApp and telephone, and we'll turn all the others off and not look at Instagram when I wake up. So think about a habit that you're willing to change this week to reduce it. And have a look at your screen time on all your settings. I think it's on all phones now. It will tell you what your average screen time is. Just look at lowering that for an hour. And yeah, just maybe, yeah, just be aware of it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It is totally up to you. And maybe you've got your screen time nailed and you're sat there going, you've got an issue with it. I'm all right. We've got quite a healthy relationship with my digital world. So yeah, we can all, well, some of you may have a great relationship with it. But yeah, just thinking about, I'm hearing more and more people as well, and this happened a lot in gambling. Addicts, and we would recommend them to get an old school phone. And I've heard a lot of people say, "God, I just wish, like, I'm just going to go and get an old phone, like an old Nokia that I can make calls on and I can text everything. Banking, there's an app for it. Download the app, go to the app store, update the phone. If you haven't got enough updates, or you haven't got enough storage, they're just computers that are chained to us every day. We're becoming more disconnected, more anxious, more depressed, and less focused. And there's a huge correlation with these things. So I will leave it there for today. And yeah, you can't do your best thinking in someone else's algorithm. It's shaping our values, our beliefs. We're losing our intuition. So yeah, I'll leave it there for today and look forward to seeing you all on Thursday for meditation. Bye bye bye.